Hello everyone. Uh, Welcome to series of videos on revenue management cloud services in Fusion Financials. This is the fifth video of this series. Okay, so in the last video, we went through one example in Excel, and we did calculate our expectation that once this contract is imported to RMCS, how the transaction price should be allocated and how the performance obligation should be grouped. So we took this example. Accordingly, we prepared the data file. We went through the different files. Then we imported this data file to RMCS, and this is the contract which got imported, and we went through our expectation in Excel and compared that with what has been created in RMCS. Now let us proceed further. In this video, in the last video, we did not import the performance obligation satisfaction event. We only created the contract, but we did not send any indicator that performance obligation has been satisfied. So now onwards, we will now in this video we are going to import the performance obligation satisfaction event, and after that followed by the billing data. Then we will verify the accounting. So let us proceed further. So before I go to the performance obligation satisfaction event, a bit of more data, a bit of more explanation on the contract data what we have imported. So this is the contract which we imported last in the previous video. Now, if you want to understand that which line is related to which of the data file element of the data file, we can verify that. Select that particular line, go to line reference detail, and here you will get a reference number. For an example, this line has the references Q107. We can match that with, we have a field called this one, source document unique identifier Q107. So this is what came here. So this line has been made in application by referring to this line. If we check, let us check another one. Let us check this one, installation. So reference for this is PR105. This is the line which got converted into the promise detail in the application, like this. Okay. Now let us proceed for the. Let us create the satisfaction event. So let me save this file. Now, when we import the satisfaction event only, one option is that along with the contract, you can import the satisfaction event. So in the last video, when I imported this data, I could have filled this Excel sheet and imported, but I did not do that. I wanted to show that how we can do in a different, how we can create the contract first, and then later we can import the satisfaction event. So when we import the satisfaction event only, in that case, no need to populate this data in the header. No need to populate the data into line. I'm keeping it right now because I have to refer few data from here to the satisfaction event sheet. So this is the satisfaction event sheet. So we have 4 quantity based. So let us plan in this way that all the quantity satisfaction event is done, means material is delivered. But the installation what we have, we will put some percentage of installation complete. Let us say like 10% or 20%. Let us see how that thing happens. We will not send the complete satisfaction event for the percentage based. For the quantity based, we will send the complete satisfaction data. So that's how we are. Let us create the scenario. So for the satisfaction event, the record type is yes. So since we are going to send 6 satisfaction lines, so I have created 6 lines here. Source document type code, it will be same as this one. Subline type code. Now this is that what kind of satisfaction is this? Is it a percentage satisfaction or it's a quantity satisfaction? Okay. So for that, there's a unique code which we need to populate. So this is for the quantity, we have to populate this one. Whereas for percentage, it will be some different value. Everything remains same. At the end, we have to remove quantity and add percentage. That's our subline type code. So this is the unique identification of the satisfaction event what we are sending. So this is just like a primary key. So I will make it as S. So this is the unique key for this particular line. This should be unique, means when we import this line, this whole combination should be unique in our RMCS database. If it is not unique, it will be missed. After this says source system. So whatever source system I have placed here, same source system I will give here. You can try with different source system also. I think it should get imported. Now, this is the one by which I link to the promise detail. So whatever this same value, I will copy and paste here. By doing so, system will understand, okay, if system processes this satisfaction line, it will look, it has to link it to the promise detail which has been already imported, right? So it will verify this particular value. And accordingly, so it will find that Q1057L. So when it import, it will look which line is the Q105 that will be imported here. That you have to link to the particular line. Let me just check if I can see the line. Yeah, this is source document. Maybe in database it makes that difference. I'm not very sure. Let me check if it is shown here. So in the database, it keeps the reference. Okay, no problem. So this is the link. This field is the common value by which the satisfaction event is linked to the promise details. Satisfaction measurement date. The date what we gave it here. Let me copy that first and we change it. So assume this was delivered on 3 days after the contract. After 4 days. This one I can put on 16. So on which date the promise obligation got satisfied, that we have to give here. Satisfied quantity. If it is a quantity based, first 4 lines are quantity based and the last 2 lines are percentage. So for quantity based, we have to give the satisfaction quantity. And for percentage, we have to give the satisfied percentage. So let us put it like 40% and 80% of installation is complete. So when we do this, for these two lines, 40% and 80% of the revenue will be recognized, whereas these are completely satisfied. So for this, 100% of the revenue will be recognized. That is what the significance of this. Now, since I have completed this satisfaction data, so now I will delete this. But this need not be. If we upload this, it will get rejected. So when we import the satisfaction event only, no need to put header data, no need to put line data. We have to give only the satisfaction data. Once we do this, process remains same. Generate the DAT file. Go to application. Load the file first. The first step to load the file, for that we have to run the load import file process. Revenue basis data. Import revenue basis data. Select the file. Submit. Let us wait this request to be completed. It went into warning. Let me check. There's a mistake in the data, looks like. Column doc subline ID identify invalid number. Let us see the data. Okay, sorry, it should be in character one. It's my mistake. In the number field, I gave the unique identifier as character. That's why it did. So we have fixed the data. Let me see. Did I do some similar mistake here also? No, here it is character. This is fine. Let us redo the process. Let us wait this process to complete. Okay, it's done. So next step, validate contract data. So this is the process when I run, right? It will establish the link in the database. So when we run the load file, it simply populated the respective table. We have 3 tables: source, VRM, source, VRM customer source document, customer source doc lines, and one more is there. So when we load the data goes and sits into that. But when we run the validate program, then it populates additional fields such as, let us say, if it is a lines or the header, then it will populate the respective customer ID, or any other data what we have done. It will validate the data, and that is where it will, if it finds some discrepancy in the matching, it will error out. So now, when I am running this process, what it will do that it will establish this link that this satisfaction is related to some specific line of this contract. So that linking it will establish. Let us see if this completed. Still going on. So it's completed. Now the next step, identify customer contact data. Now before I submit, let me show what the change we will see. So if you see this promise detail, if you go to satisfaction event, there is nothing. That means no satisfaction event is created. Right? Once we run the process, what I'm going to do after this, then we will be able to see the satisfaction event here. But let us submit this process. So identify customer contact is succeeded, it's complete. So let us requery this contract here, 7009. So promise detail, you can see percentage base 40% is completed, satisfactory. Satisfied quantity 1. So this is how the satisfaction event got created. Okay. Now the next step will be to import the billing data, but before that, let us verify the accounting for it. Okay. For that, what we need to do, we have to run a process here, process recognition. Let us wait for this process to be completed. So it's completed. Now let us verify the accounting. So contract number was 7009. Search it. Here we can go and see the view accounting. Okay. So let us do view accounting. So this is the accounting which got created. Let me, for better understanding, let me export this to Excel, and then we can go through it a bit. Let us delete this, we don't require. Okay. Enlarge a bit. Enlarge. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. Let me sort on the event type so that we can see one event accounting at one place. Would like to refer back to this sheet which we discussed earlier. So if you remember, I think maybe in the second or third video, we discussed the accounting entry. So right now we can see the accounting for these two events. We have not inputted the billing data. So let us verify the accounting of these two events. This is the initial performance. So at this event, organization recognizes the contract and say, okay, this is the asset for me. And at the same time, I'm liable to deliver that much of contract obligations. So we close this once obligation. So this was the selling amount, but the contract is not recognized on the selling amount. Rather, it was recognized on the allocated transaction price. So if we see the promise details, let us say for this installation, though the selling amount was 0, the allocated transaction price is 891.67. Contract liability, and this is the asset. So asset got debited by 891, created by liability created by 891. Let me take another example. Second installation, once though the selling price was 800, but allocated PP was 1783. So this was another one. Let us take one of the quantity based ones. So this is 15,158 plus 7,173, something, I think 22 sub change. So this is the respective one. So this is how the contract initial performance got accounted. Now, when we imported the satisfaction event, this accounting got generated and that much of respective revenue got recognized. For an example, if you see this particular line, installation, satisfaction, 40% is satisfied. That means total promise amount was 891. Out of that, 40% is satisfied. So this will take us to $35667. You can see recognized revenue 35667. This is the recognized revenue. So for the one particular installation, 40% of this one, that much of revenue got recognized. So revenue credit and liability debit. That means we were liable for this complete amount. Out of that, 40% I've already delivered. So my liability should get reduced. That's why the liability got debited and the revenue got credited. So this is how, like for example, this one, if we see the another one, this line. Satisfaction event, this got completely satisfied. So 100% got recognized. So 15 and this one, total will be 22,291, 22,291. This is nothing else but this one. So to summarize, for the initial performance accounting entries, contract asset debit, liability credit, that is what we show. For satisfaction event, respective contract liability, whatever satisfied will satisfy 100%, then the full will be full liability will be relieved. If 40%, then 40% of the liability will be relieved. So the liability will be debit and revenue will be created. That is how revenue gets recognized. So that is it for in this video. The next, to complete the cycle, the next step what we have to do, we have to import the billing data. When we import the billing data, at that time my asset will get nullified. So this is the billing data account. So we will complete, we will go through the billing data import in the next video. So thanks a lot for watching. I hope it was useful. Bye for now.